Hello, my name is Dylan Wolf from Project Allure. This is episode 4. Now, in this video, we are going to do a step by step guide on how to have a successful relationship in the year 2026. I cannot believe I am actually saying that. We are getting older day by day. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay? So, step one, you need to understand prior to commitment that you really need to get to know this woman. Okay? So, what I mean by this is so far often, guys just jump to conclusions. Guys act out of scarcity. Okay? So, when we act out of scarcity, what happens? Ask yourself different times and look at different scenarios in your life. When did you act out of scarcity? Okay. So, for example, me, right? In a past relationship, what I did was I saw this girl that everybody wanted, right? She's beautiful, very gorgeous girl, right? Everybody wanted this girl, super popular. You get the gist, right? So, me being confident and knowing that I can get women, I was like, I'm going to get her. I'm going to bag her, right? However, what went into this process of me trying to acquire this woman was me acting out of scarcity. Why? Because I saw this version of a woman and I kind of put her on a pedestal a little bit. Even if it was subtle, I still did it, right? And the way that I did this was I allowed certain behaviors just because I wanted to get the girl that everyone else wanted, right? So, what does this have to do with getting to know the woman? Well, when you operate out of scarcity, you're not actually trying to get to know that person for who they are. What you're doing is you're just trying to get the end result, which is being with them, without actually knowing the person for who they truly are at their core. So, what we have to do is we have to take bias aside. We have to separate what our emotions are telling us. Okay? So, in doing that, you're going to get a much better understanding of who this person truly is. This version of somebody, and this goes both ways, by the way, even if you're a woman, you create this version of somebody that you don't know, and maybe you find them very physically attractive, or maybe you had a couple interactions where they went really well and they went exactly how you would have wanted them to. Then what we do is we create this entire imagination of who this person is, right? And we associate certain things mentally with who this person is supposed to be in our minds. But in reality, that's most of the time never even close to who they truly are, right? So you have to have enough discernment in your own, getting to know this person process, right? And never operate out of scarcity, because you're going to end up like I did in my past relationship where it ended horribly, right? And I overcommitted and I didn't get to essentially know this person well enough, right? So understand that getting to know someone is going to be key. You don't need to rush into having a relationship with this woman, right? You can take your time. Immediately, what I do, like when a woman tries to get a read on where I'm at, I friend zone them, right? But I don't do it in a way where like I'm not interested in you. I do it in a way where I'm like, well, I think it's best that we start being friends and get to know each other. I'm honest. You can be honest about how you feel. Guess what? People are going to respect that way more. Even if they don't like what you have to say, they're going to respect the fact that you're honest. Because a lot of the time, people do know how you truly feel. They're just trying to test to see if you'll actually say it to them, right? So women do this constantly. Okay, so now that we understand we need to get to really know this person, we are going to move on to step 2. All right? So, step 2, we need to look for red flags and green flags. Okay? Now, there's a ton of different red flags that I could put on here and green flags, but I didn't have enough space. Okay, so let's just bear with me, understand that these are going to give you a pretty good understanding of what to look for and what not to look for. Okay, so let's start with the green flags, right? This is the ideal girl you'd want to be with. Okay, and there's going to be certain things here that can be a little bit different, right? So, for example, me, I am always going to look for a woman that has wanting to be a mother at the forefront of her focus. Okay. If you're a guy who doesn't want kids, I mean, I worry about you a little bit because that's like the most amazing joy you could ever experience in your life. And I understand the economy sucks, but you can't let the economy dictate doing the most beautiful thing in your life, right? So understand that I would reconsider that. But for example, like that is going to be, in my eyes, a major green flag because she is going to be nurturing. She's going to be way more likely to be family oriented. She's likely to be way better at taking care of you. And she's going to be way less masculine, which is a big problem that women face in this day and age, is they're very over masculinized. Feminism has created a demographic of women that keeps them single because they are too overtly masculine. So I am looking for a feminine woman, okay? And you should too. You're going to waste so much time with this overly masculine girl who thinks that she deserves everything and doesn't have to bring shit to the table, right? That's a girl you don't want to be with, okay? So a woman who has being a mother at the forefront of her focus is typically going to be a much better option than that of the latter, okay? So let's take a look at some green flags. So, wants to care for you. Feminine, respects your authority or ability to lead. And more so, she trusts in you, okay? So if you, the man, are not a good leader, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. Men biologically are built to lead, okay? So you are built to lead. You just have to find it within your soul to know exactly what is holding you back from actually being a good leader. What is that fear attached to? Understand that everything in life is controlled by these two things, fear and love, okay? So oftentimes what happens is we don't do something, we don't speak up, we don't say, hey, I think this would be the best option. Because why? Fear. So that fear is associated with something, maybe something that happened in the past. Maybe you did speak up at some point, but everyone laughed at you, everyone clowned on you, and then you never spoke up again. You need to retrace your steps and ask yourself, where was that fear rooted in, right? And you need to find a way to run at your fears as quick as possible, okay? So everything is dictated on fear and love. The more you love yourself, right, you're going to love yourself more enough to push through those fears, okay? So each and every one of you has the ability to be a great leader, but you must believe in who you are at your core, chase your fears, and love yourself more, okay? So I am looking for a woman who trusts in my ability to lead. As soon as she gives you friction or confrontation, it's over. It's over, okay? This isn't a I need to try and convince you to be with me game. The right woman is going to love you for you. You're not going to have to chase after her and run her down. Would you do that to hang out with one of your boys? No, because your boy isn't really your boy if he keeps avoiding you until you beg him to hang out with you. That's freaking weird, dude. So it's no different from women. Stop, associating these women with, oh my God, like I idolize them. Please be with me. Please, please. Like you can't operate out of that scarcity mentality. And that's what I covered on earlier, okay? So it is a green flag if she respects your authority and your ability to lead. She trusts in you, okay? Biologically, women are looking for a leader, an alpha male who is going to take care of them, their future potential kids. Are their kids going to look good? All of these things are factored in with a woman, okay? So if you are not a good leader, if you are not true to yourself, you shouldn't be dating women to begin with. Point blank, period, right? But if you are at that point in your life, this is the type of woman you should look for, okay? So she respects your authority and ability to lead. She doesn't try and change you. This is a big one, guys. I mean, if you can find a woman who doesn't try to change you, man, man, that is rare. That's truly rare. I have found that with one girl, and that one girl, she was older than me. She was like 5 years older than me, and I didn't even take her serious, guys. And it's something that I'm like, damn, you know, I don't think that she was the one for me, but the way that she treated me was exactly the way that I need to be treated. That's the exact type of relationship that I need to emulate. And she was at a different spot in her life. She was ready to have kids. You know, I was like 20. She was like 26 or something like that. And she was just at a completely different spot in her life. But the way she treated me and the way that she trusted my ability to lead was amazing. And she didn't try and change me. She completely embraced me for me, right? And you don't know how valuable that is until you actually experience it. Because I got in a relationship with a girl after I had been with her. And after that relationship ended, I was like, dang, man, dang. Like, night and day difference. And I didn't even take that girl seriously, right? I wasn't looking to date her because I had just got out of a relationship and I was like, I really am just like trying to chill, you know, like I'm over it. And the relationship I was in prior to her was very toxic. So I was like, dude, I need a break from these chicks, bro. Like, let me just chit chat, you know, have fun. Like, I'm not looking for nothing, right? But it's crazy because the best girl ever like waltzes into your life as soon as you're not looking for anything serious. So anyways, point being, she didn't try and change me, right? So that is one of the biggest green flags that you can look for. Another green flag is going to be good family, right? Loves God. If she loves God, this is amazing, no matter if you're religious or not, okay? Now, this may be a deal breaker if you are totally against religion. I understand that. But for me, this is a very big green flag because if she has God at the forefront of her life, there's nothing that can come bad from that, right? Like, it's different if it's like a reformed bop who then found God, right? Like, it's different. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a girl who has upheld to religious beliefs and values and will not stray on that for a guy. This tells me that this woman is strong in her beliefs. She has a backbone, right? And she's not going to just go around sleep with a bunch of guys. She's not going to cheat on me, right? Because she has enough value in herself to never do something to anyone like that to begin with. So you have to look for good women who actually have good moral values. And if she loves God, this is a great indication that she does have that. Okay? It's not always true, mind you. There needs to be more research done, but it is definitely a green flag. Okay? Next up, has moral bounds, and that kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. Doesn't dress half naked. Okay, a lot of girls will get offended by this, but the reality is the more that you reveal, right, you are opening the door to being sexualized. So men put girls in two categories: wife material and I'll hook up with her, right? So those two categories, right? What am I more likely to have sexual thoughts or wife thoughts when I look at a girl who is half naked? I'm more likely to have sexual thoughts, right? So if you hook up with a girl or you date a girl that dresses half naked, she's going to be dressing that same way when she's not around you. She's opening the door to being sexualized, right? And inherently what a girl is saying, even if she doesn't feel this way, this is what it says about you. The girl is saying, I do not have a ton of value in who I am as a person. I know that my value is within my body, right? Or the way she looks. So women need to understand that if you're wearing revealing clothing, a high value man is not going to take you serious because it looks like you don't have a lot going for you. See, the most attractive thing a woman can do, and the green flag, the opposing side to this coin, is when you see a beautiful girl, right? She dressed modestly, but you still know she got that dang. You know what I mean? She got that on her. You know what I mean? Like if you can see a little bit, like just tease me a little bit, just tease me. Just let me know that it's there, but I don't want to see it all. Like I don't want to see cheeks. You know what I mean? Like this ain't Halloween. You don't have to walk out here naked, right? So that girl is going to be dressed in the same way when she's not around you. She's going to have tons of eyes on her, right? And it's a sign of also just not having good moral balance. Like for me, I work out consistently. I've had a nice body pretty much my whole life, and I still kind of dress modestly, right? And like that's just like I don't want to like put my entire body all over the internet. Like it's just like a little weird. Like my value as a human being is not associated with what my body is. It's with me, the person, and my soul. And that's truly how I feel. So when I look at a girl who dresses modestly and she's beautiful and she also has a nice body, I'm like, whoa, this is different. So that's a green flag to that red flag, okay? So now that we understand some green flags, these are some things that you can kind of hold true to you. Let's get into the dark side, okay? Red flag number 1, high body count, okay? So if she has a high body count, that means she's easier to access, right? Her pair bonding skills have also went to shit, okay? Her oxytocin levels are completely out of whack, okay? So these are different like for men because men do not hold the gateway to sex, right? Women control the barrier on average to sex. Men on average control the barrier to relationships, okay? So and a good man, by the way, controls the barrier to both, right? That's elite ball knowledge. The guy needs to control both of those things, but that's a different topic for another video. If she has a high body count, it shows that she doesn't have moral values, right? Because for every body a woman gets, her ability to love you goes down, okay? So doesn't want kids. This is a very big red flag for me. And like I said at the beginning of going over the red flags and whatnot, it may be a little different for you. But typically a woman who doesn't have wanting a family at the forefront of her values is typically a very career-driven woman, right? And that's a very masculine trait. I'm personally not looking for a provider, okay? I don't think any man out there should be looking for a provider female. This woman is typically going to be very crass, is going to be very, arrogant, very loud, very controlling. I don't want a woman that I have to battle against. I don't want a woman that I'm going to have to butt heads with. I want someone who respects my ability to lead, but also, chimes in. Someone that I can talk to, I can delegate things to, and she can also have input on certain things, and we'll be able to come to certain decisions, but at the end of the day I make the final decision, right? Because she needs to trust my ability to lead, because if she doesn't trust your ability to lead, she doesn't respect you as a man, right? So if she doesn't want kids, she's not really looking for anything insanely serious with one particular person, in my opinion, okay? I don't have any science behind this. I only have experiences on that. And trust me when I say, literally 100 times out of 100, it has been true. Okay, so it's a red flag for me personally. Career driven, like I said, very masculine. Goes out a lot. If she goes out a lot, she's not serious. So what happens a lot of the time is when you're in a relationship in your early 20s or in that time of your life with a woman who likes to go out a lot or just things like that, what happens is women will literally date guys just so they have a backup plan, right? So, for example, you're what is called the placeholder boyfriend, okay? So she keeps you around right? In the scenario that she can't find anyone better. So women who are going out and wanting to do all these activities, they're not content with the guy that they have. They can put a complete act on, they can enjoy you and enjoy the experiences that you have, but also oftentimes this guy's going to be doing way too much for her. You know, she's going to be in control of the relationship, and she uses this guy literally as a placeholder boyfriend. Okay? So if you have a girl and she wants to go out all the time with her friends, you need to break up with her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay? You can cope all you want, but guess what? That never ends well. Literally, either she doesn't take you serious and you're a placeholder boyfriend, or she's cheating on you. It's one or the other. She's literally purposely putting herself in a scenario, most of the time half naked, around a bunch of other guys that literally want to sleep with her and are going to approach her. Literally flip the scenario. Do you think that that girlfriend would be cool if you went out, right, half naked? Let's say that you have your shirt, almost unbuttoned. Let's say you're in good shape too, right? So, especially if you find your girl attractive, let's say that you're purposefully wearing revealing clothing, or to an extent something that accentuates your body, right? And then you go out to a club, right, where there's going to be drugs, alcohol, and all that type of stuff involved, and you're going to have women constantly coming up to you and approaching you, trying to sleep with you. Do you think that your girlfriend would be cool with that? Honestly, like your girlfriend who goes out to clubs, if you put that actual scenario in perspective, the same way it would be for her, would she be cool with that? I don't think so. So why are you cool with her doing it, right? So that's a major red flag for me, is if she goes out a lot. I won't even take her serious because she's not at the point in her life where she's ready to settle down with somebody. She's still looking. Even if she has a boyfriend, she's still looking, okay? Avoidant personality, okay? So if it goes, beyond avoidant personality or all these different personality types. But the problem is, and the point is, this person just has not done enough self-work on themselves to actually warrant being in a relationship. It's very selfish for someone who has these different, like anxious attachment, all this crap, right? You just basically have not put in the work to be in a relationship. You shouldn't be in a relationship. If you're using these excuses to attach to why your behavior is a certain way, you shouldn't be with them. It's so selfish and it's so toxic of you to do that. So if you find a woman who tells you, "Oh, I have an avoidant personality type. I have an anxious attachment style." It's like, you need to get your shit together. That's not my problem. I'm here to get to know you. And if you're not making my life better, you're making my life worse. So you can, bye, I don't need you. That's what you need to tell these women. You are wasting your life, valuable years in your life, when you could be working on yourself, versus getting to know and wasting 2 years of your life in a relationship that sucked, right? With a girl that cheated on you, with a girl that had an avoidant personality type, where she had an anxious attachment style. Like, it's not your job to fix these women. It's not your job. The reason why a lot of women even develop these things is because they sleep with too many men. And women are not ready to hear that conversation, but it is the truth. And the only reason you develop these traumas and these attachment styles and all this crap is because you've been with too many men and your pair bonding has gone to shit. Okay? So whenever you see women who act like this, you need to disqualify them. It's that simple. Okay? Loud. If she's loud, obnoxious, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm not gonna go in depth into that, but if this bit is loud, like, bro, get on. Like, I'm not dealing with you. You need to have enough emotional control to not need to get loud. You can get your point across without yelling at me, right? Flight attendant or nurse. Okay, so these are just a couple different job titles that you should look out for that are completely red flags. nurses cheat way more than any other like job title from a woman's perspective, period. Okay. So, and on that same coin, a flight attendant is also a super big red flag. She constantly has free flights. She gets to go all over the world. She's constantly surrounded by extremely above average attractive men. So her ability to essentially settle down with a man is going to be so much harder because oftentimes flight attendants have really bad FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. And they see all these different lifestyles, and it makes it so hard for them to actually settle down with a normal guy in a normal life because they just think that partying and going to all these cool places all around the world is reality, right? But in reality, those a lot of the time those guys on the vacations, they're normal guys too. It's just the thought process of what potentially could come about with this guy without even knowing him, right? It's what I talked about at the beginning of this video, okay? So avoid women who are in these types of job titles where they're traveling a lot, or like a nurse is constantly surrounded by all these other dudes, right? And she's wearing very tight clothing on purpose. She's serving other men like doctors and whatnot. She's constantly talking to patients who are going to want to sleep with her, right? It's not hard. And she's going to have her pick of the litter, right? So there's a lot that goes into it, but I wouldn't date a woman who does either of these job titles. Cares too much about her SM. So SM stands for social media. If a woman is not completely okay with deleting her social media, I think that you should disqualify her. If she is not okay with doing this, and it's not something I would personally ask a woman, but the point is, like, she needs to be able to physically have a break from that. Let's say that we go on a trip to a different country and we don't have service. Like, she needs to be okay with not constantly posting everything on social media, right? Because that means she's doing it for validation of others to see her be this amazing, wonderful person, right? So it's just not attractive to me. I'm not looking for a woman that, quite frankly, isn't grounded. So that's a key reason as to why I wouldn't, take a woman seriously if she's all over social media and she cares so much about it. Next up, brings up past relationships. If she brings up a past relationship and she even like says anything bad about a guy, I'm not interested. I'm not, okay? You guys might watch this video and think it's like so harsh, but what happens is if she has these different associations of negativity still within her body towards a certain guy, 95% of the time she would still sleep with him like the next day. Okay? Because women do not operate from morality in relationships, they operate from attraction. Okay? How attracted are they to this guy? How much do they see this man better than them? So a lot of the times what happens is a woman will date a guy, she'll get cheated on, and then from there they'll break up, and then she'll just hold all this resentment. Like, on top of all that, what I just mentioned, it's also not my job to fix this woman's trauma. I don't want to get to know a girl who is still not over their ex, right? It's pretty simple. Like, nobody should. And if she's always talking about her ex, it's a dead giveaway that this woman is not serious and she's not over him, okay? Tries to mold you. This is the opposite of doesn't try to change you, but you get the idea. If she tries to mold you into a certain guy, it's never going to work, quite frankly. If she wants you to do things a certain way, or she wants you to do her activities all the time, like, I'm not into that. I'm into somebody who is going to match me, right? That's what you should look for. Someone who, like, in my ideal world, I think the best possible relationship is people who understand each other. It's light, it's fun, right? And you guys are both building towards the same thing. When you have a vision that is the same, it's there's no like fogginess. There's complete clarity on what the future holds. A woman is going to be way more likely to get invested in that because a lot of the time women will leave you or cheat on you because they feel that uncertainty about her future with you. So if you create an outlook on what the future is supposed to look like and you lead the way in that action, your relationships are going to be so much better, right? There's no stress or tension because you guys know what the vision is, okay? So now that we know some red flags, some green flags, we can actually take a look at the timeline here. Now, from months 1 to 3, it really just needs to be light, fun, not serious. Become good friends first, okay? So you don't need to ask her these serious, deep-rooted questions. Sometimes you guys will fucking go out with a girl and you'll literally stay the whole night with her. You'll sit in your car, get to know every little detail about each other, and it's like date 1 or date 2 or date 3. It's like, dude, you need to chill out. Like, control yourself, my guy. You like after the first date, you shouldn't even be talking to her for another 2 weeks. You need to be patient. The slow burn is going to be so much better 100% of the time. And she's going to have way more attraction for you because she understands that you are putting you first. If you're getting to know this girl super quick and you know everything about her and you made her your girlfriend in week 1, it's like, dude, that's not going to last. You just speed ran a relationship. You're speed running it. Like, that's not natural. That's not normal. That's not how you should operate in a relationship. Stop acting out of scarcity. Okay? So it needs to be light, fun, not serious. Don't take women seriously, right? Like, if she's obviously not going to work out and be a good girlfriend for you, then just stop talking to her. Don't waste your time. But if she's fun and, there's no reason to disqualify her, just enjoy her. Enjoy the company. And we live in a really hard world where a lot of our day-to-day life is extremely stressful. There's a lot that goes into it. We got to deal with our boss, or we got to deal with the stresses of managing a business or managing employees. It's hard, guys. Like, I got to go get groceries. I got to go cook. There's all these different things that come into play. And if you can find a woman that takes the stresses out of your life and just allows you to be present in the moment and enjoy that, that's the best thing ever. And you start to make things way more serious when you bring in those other factors too early. So from months 1 to 3, I would like, even past that, it should be light. You should be friends first, okay? You should also date other people and be open about it. Stop settling down too fast, right? So this is important because what happens is, part of the reason why you guys settle down so quickly and operate out of scarcity is because you're not talking to other women. You're not dating multiple women at the same time. So when you date multiple women, your likelihood of getting super attached to one woman is going to go down, and you're actually going to play the field much better. And if you're sitting there, you're like, well, it's hard enough for me to even get one woman. Then you need to work on yourself. Work on the 4 categories: your looks, your money, and your status. You shouldn't be dating at all, right? If you can barely clutch on to getting a girlfriend, right? If you can barely get the date and you barely are getting there, like, dude, that sucks. She's not going to respect you. She's going to leave that guy. You need to become somebody better, who you're truly meant to become, right? So you shouldn't even be considering any of this if you are that guy who struggles to even get one date, right? Do the self work, right? Just keep grinding. Understand the language of woman, right? So by the time that you get to an opportunity where you are with a woman, you know what to do and you know how to go about it and you know how to not let this chick ruin your life, right? But dating multiple people, and key word here, being open about it, open, right? Telling her, hey, yeah, I'm dating multiple people right now. Yeah. Well, no, it's not that I'm, polyamorous. I believe in monogamy, but I'm just trying to see the best option for me. When you're open about it, you're honest, she's going to probably scoff at that, but she's going to try harder to get you as long as you go about that scenario properly. Okay. I've done this tons of times. Like, I am super open about, yeah, I'm talking to lots of girls. What about it? Like, I tell every single girl this. Guess what? Because I don't care if they're in my life or not. I don't need them. I don't care, right? You can't care. And if you are dating multiple women, she loves competition, right? A woman is always going to try to prove to you why she is the best girl for you to be in her life, right? So remember, on average, right, men control the barrier to relationships. So she wants you to be able to, commit to her, right? That's her goal, is to commit to her. So if she sees that you're dating multiple women, you're honest about it, you're upfront about it, but you still are open and trying to get to know her, for her, she is going to treat that as competition. Okay? So in months 1 to 3, you're just having fun. It's not serious, right? And then we move on to months 4 through 6. Okay? So once you get to about 4 through 6, like, you should start to dwindle a little bit. Like, I would still be talking to a few girls, but ideally you should have a good idea if this is a good woman that you can be serious with. Okay. So you can also start to have like more serious combos, about what you need in a partner and what you're actually looking for. Because at this point, I mean, if you guys are dating, you guys have been talking for a few months at this point, like, you have a good idea of if this is a good person or not, right? Now, mind you, you don't have to follow this trajectory at all. You can be friends with this woman for over a year, right? You can be in this area. It's like you don't have to be sleeping with each other. You can just be friends, get to know each other, go out with other friend groups, right? See how you guys do in social settings. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious, right? So put yourself in those scenarios, right? And then this timeline can completely expand. Like, this months 1 through 3, this can be over a year, right? It doesn't have to be in this time frame. But if you're really serious about this girl, you really like her, and you want to be friends, like, yeah, you can do it this way as well. Okay, just don't rush into anything. So from months 4 to 6, right, you should also know if you want to be serious with her, like I mentioned. And then moving on to months 7 through 9. So ideally, like, at this point of 7 to 9 months of talking to this girl, like, you should have an idea if you want to make her your girlfriend or not. Like, really, you really should, because you don't need more than that much time to know if you really like her, right? You should definitely, like, be conscientious about actually committing and making her your girlfriend. But by 7 to 9 months of dates and getting to know her, like, dude, you should know, right? Like, you should know if this is a good fit for you, right? The goals should be aligned with one another. So this goes hand in hand with like months 4 through 6. You're starting to have more serious combos, but your goals should be aligned. Like I said earlier, the vision of what the relationship is supposed to look like needs to be clear, right? Before you even get into that relationship, it needs to be clear on how things are going to go. What standard are you setting with her? Because if you don't set a standard, she's going to lead. And if she leads, she leads. Okay? So the goals need to be aligned. And lastly, things are very light and fun. Surprise, right? it needs to be light and fun still in here forever. You need to keep it as light and fun as possible. Okay? Like, she is your safe space, dude. Why are you trying to make these conversations so corporate, so serious, so adult? Just have fun. Screw it. Party, have fun with her, Go have fun adventures with her, right? but also keep, you at the forefront, and the goals in the business or your job, that needs to be the main priority. But dude, she needs to be your safe space. She needs to be somebody that you can go to and just have fun. It doesn't need to be corporate, okay? Stop treating her like it's work, right? And then months 10 and up, right, from there on after Jesus, maintain standards set in the beginning. So this is essentially just maintaining the standard that you upheld. You need to uphold that, forever. You need to fall in love with the process of what it takes to actually keep a woman satisfied in a relationship forever. Stop falling in love with the result of getting the girlfriend and letting off the gas. Okay? You need to fall in love with the process forever. Okay? Keep emotional control always. Now, there's going to be times where you lose your temper, right? Or you get a little emotional. But understand that the person who is the least emotional is always in control. They're way more in control of the scenario. If she's trying to get a rise out of you, you need to have more emotional control than her. Why should she be able to emotionally affect you? She shouldn't, ever. Okay? This is what she's trying to do, because she's trying to take you out of your masculine frame. Okay? So the more emotional you get, you're now stooping down to her level, when in reality, you're the superior, you're the leader. The leader doesn't stoop down to the level of an inferior, right? And it doesn't mean that she's, a worse human being or whatever. What I'm saying is you need to be the leader, and you need to lead by example in order for her to respect you. A lot of the time, women will do these things to see if they can pull you out of that leadership role, right? Think of Beauty and the Beast. The entire premise of the movie is a beautiful princess trying to tame this monster. She wants to do that with you, okay? She wants to tame you and make you into her little, slave. She wants to essentially do that. So you can never let a woman do this to you. She only is in love with the guy that she can't do this to ever. And she stays in love with that guy, okay? So, and lastly, be a good leader and have her be your safe space, like I mentioned earlier. But you got to stay being a good leader, okay? So now that we know the timeline, we know the red and green flags. Step 3, okay? Maintain core beliefs while factoring in red and green flags and the get to know you process and the timeline, okay? So just factor all these things in, right? You need to make sure that you uphold a standard. So far often, guys let off the gas. Oh, I got the girl. Now I can chill out. Now I can let her dominate me. Now I can do this. Oh, whatever. I don't care. You always have to care more than she does. And when I say care, you have to care about the process. You have to care about maintaining the vision. The vision is, I am investing into our future. I'm building it, right? I'm creating our reality, right? And she is following me in that process, right? So you need to love and care about that more, and she is a byproduct of that, okay? So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a literal guide on how to actually operate and keep a relationship and have longevity in it, okay? So if you use these techniques with your future girls that you talk to, you're going to do so much better, okay? There's no excuse for you to fail if you've seen this video. You need to practice these things, and you shouldn't be looking for a relationship to begin with if you're not ready for that. And if you can't get dates, you don't have stuff to lose, you don't look good enough, you're not in shape. Like, focus on you before you focus on somebody else, okay? Now, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.